public displays of affection in school. My viewpoint on it is that LHS has a problem with it, so I did a lot of research to kind of consolidate all the information that I have on it. How does it relate to me? In general, it relates to me in that me, my friends, my teachers, everybody has to see it in the halls. Pretty much all of us have witnessed it. It's inappropriate. It shouldn't be taking place during school. So I polled 75 members of our school. That's 15 students per class and 15 teachers / administrators. And my results were 18 people didn't know or didn't care about the problem. 14 said there is not a problem, and 43 said that there is a problem at LHS. So that's yeses on the bottom there if you can't see that. So it affects the PDA on others. It affects the teachers and students by distracting them, making them uncomfortable, and even at times making them late for class. And by an article, I don't have the full article title, but it quoted as no longer cute, but has turned into a nauseating and common occurrence for students. So I really like that quote. Wanted to include that in there because it is pretty nauseating. It affects the school community, and basically I think the community needs a safer and less distracting learning environment. It's a public issue because it is taking place in public schools and even middle schools, according to that same article. The controversy is that there's a big discrepancy between what is and what isn't appropriate. There's fine lines between hugging and hand-holding and kissing and time, like how long you hold on to somebody. So there's a lot of fine lines that kind of need to be addressed between what's appropriate and what's not. But most students and teachers just choose to ignore it. So what I think is that we should be enforcing the rules, not letting it happen, break it up when you see it happening. And what most schools are doing, they're coming up with the common ground that hugging and hand-holding is okay, but kissing is not, which I think is a good idea, and I think that it would be a good idea for LHS to do that as well. And just keep it short and simple, even if it's to peck on the cheek. Like, it doesn't need to be full-out makeup session before class. So the past and future, it's a relatively new problem just because, like, at least with my parents, grew up in, like, old school time. Like, it wasn't okay, it wasn't tolerated in school, it just wasn't okay, and the kids knew that school was not the place to do it. So teachers really have never had to deal with walking into their classroom and seeing students making out and just distracting other kids. So there hasn't really been much organization work on this up to this point, other than like schools taking it basis by basis. So making a difference, I know that I'll make a difference when I see less prominence of it in the hallways, and even in society when schools all over stop seeing that. So the school really needs to start from the root of the problem, teach kids like while they're growing up, even when they're younger, like what is okay and what is not okay in school. So I think that if we start at the root of the problem and do that, then it won't be a problem when kids get up to high school, because they'll know not to do that. So some real responses on PDA, with somebody who agrees with it. I see nothing wrong with PDAs. Most of us have seen that sort of thing before. And a quote that I got from another person in this same article was, "Sure, sex is broadcast all over the television, movies, and the internet, but I think our generation should be above all that. Because just because you've seen it before doesn't make it okay. That doesn't mean that there's not a problem just because you see it all the time. If anything, that's telling you that there is a problem due to the frequency of it." Another quote, "I think it's fine to want to show someone how much they mean to you whenever the feeling comes over you. The bottom line is public displays of affection that make other people ill at ease are wrong. They're not okay. And you shouldn't be able to do that whenever you want, especially not in school, because school is just not the place for that. So some things are left better behind closed doors. School's not the place." And all of these responses are courtesy of the article, "PDA is romantic or just plain gross." So these are some student and teacher responses from our school that I got. The student responses are in green, the teachers are in blue. I didn't get a lot of teacher responses only because it is a really uncomfortable thing to talk about for them. So students said things such as, "I think it's just disgusting. I think hand-holding is appropriate, but not the long make-out sessions. Nearly every day I'm stuck in the hall behind a couple just going at it. Teachers feel awkward around it and thus are less likely to stop it. just don't do it. And teachers said, there's a time and a place for that type of behavior, but not in school. And as a teacher, I don't really know how to approach the situation comfortably. So I included that quote just because it shows that even teachers at LHS don't know how to deal with it. And when they don't know how to deal with it, we can't enforce the rules and the problem just escalates. And then from the article, Keep Your Hands to Yourself, it said that PDAs are noted as offensive, distracting, and very unsuitable for school. And then that's why we're excited.
Nice job, Bree. Thank you. Do you guys have any follow-up questions for Bree? I do, because the one, have you actually gone into a class where there are kids making out in a class before?
You mean in a classroom?
In the classroom, as I just, that would blow my mind. I wouldn't know what to do, as you're saying. I would probably say stop, but I would be so caught off guard that I'm surprised that happens, so. Maybe it's my ignorance on it. Do you guys have any other questions for Bree? All right, thank you, Bree. Nice job.